There was once a king who possessed wealth, armies, palaces, and more than anything else, he possessed the very thing that destroys a human being: arrogance. He used to say,
"I alone am the god of this land."
But one night, something shook Babylon that no mind could have ever imagined. Not the strike of a sword, not an attack of arrows, not the power of a great army, but a creature so small it could not even be seen, before which Nimrod's million-strong army became helpless, and in the end, they were crushed into the dust and destroyed. Ancient Iraq, the land of Babylon, was home to a kingdom where only one voice ruled: Nimrod. In the Holy Quran, no personal name of this king is mentioned, but according to Tafsir Ibn Kathir and certain narrations, this king was Nimrod, who was an extremely powerful and arrogant ruler of his time. People trembled at the sound of his footsteps. Cities were settled under the shadow of his palace, and humanity had already bowed its neck before his arrogance. Nimrod used to say,
"I provide sustenance, I give life, and I give death as well."
He was not just a king, rather he called himself Lord. One day, an astrologer came to Nimrod and told him, "A child is about to be born who will destroy your kingdom and your claim of being God." Nimrod's face turned pale. He ordered, "From now on, no mother shall give birth. Every newborn child must be killed." Cries rose in the streets, tears flowed from mothers' eyes, and the footsteps of oppression were soaked in blood. But whom Allah intends to protect, for that person he closes all the doors of the world and opens one special door of his own. The mother of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam took refuge in a mountain cave. There was deep silence all around. Then a light was born, a light that spread while gathering silence into its waves, and Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam was born. His upbringing continued in the darkness of the cave, in silence, while outside, the darkness of oppression was swallowing the entire atmosphere. Inside, Allah was preparing a light that was destined to change the fate of coming eras. As soon as Ibrahim came out of the cave, he looked at the world around him. Stars, the moon, the sun, all moving in a system. From here, his journey began. According to the Quran, the name of Ibrahim's father was Azar. He was the head of a famous idol-making workshop, and Ibrahim alayhi salam was raised from childhood in that idol-worshipping household. Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam observed everything deeply. One question always remained on his tongue.
What is the truth? Who is it that is creating this thought within me?
The people of that nation prostrated to stars, considered the moon as God, bowed before the sun, but then all of them disappeared. Ibrahim's heart called out,
All of this is temporary, but God is not temporary.
When people prostrated to idols, asked for prayers, Ibrahim alayhi salam stood silently and kept watching them. One day, when he asked his people,
Can these stones hear you?
The people laughed and said,
"O Ibrahim, these are the deities worshipped by our forefathers."
Ibrahim alayhi salam said,
They can neither stop harm from you, nor can they benefit you, yet you worship them.
The people became angry. They began to say,
"O Ibrahim, your tongue speaks too much, but this is the tradition of our ancestors."
But Ibrahim alayhi salam did not want to leave the people in this state. His purpose was only Tawheed, oneness of God. All day and late into the night, Ibrahim alayhi salam went door to door and kept explaining to people,
Your Lord is the one who created the heavens, the earth, the stars, the sun, everything.
But the hearts of the idol-worshipping nation had turned to stone. One day, when there was a fair in the city, and the people went out to celebrate, and the city was empty, Ibrahim alayhi salam entered the place of worship. He picked up an axe and began breaking all the idols one by one. In the end, he left the largest idol intact and hung the axe on its shoulder. When the people returned and saw the condition of their place of worship, they screamed,
"Who has done all this?"
Someone said,
There is a young man named Ibrahim who always speaks ill of our idols.
Ibrahim alayhi salam was summoned and was asked.
"Oh Ibrahim, have you broken these?"
He replied,
When the biggest idol is standing safely, ask him. Perhaps he will tell you who broke the rest.
The people burst with rage. They said,
O Ibrahim, you know that they cannot speak.
Then Ibrahim alayhi salam said a sharp sentence.
When you know they cannot speak, cannot walk, cannot give benefit or harm, then why do you make them your lords?
This voice echoed in the winds, collided with the tongues of people, and reached the palace of Nimrod.
Ibrahim.
Ibrahim alayhi salam was brought to the court of Nimrod. On one side were crowns, thrones, and armies, and on the other side stood a lone prophet, but with certainty, devotion, and faith in his heart. Nimrod angrily asked,
Do you deny my being God?
Ibrahim alayhi salam replied gently,
My Lord is the one who gives life and gives death.
Nimrod laughed. He said,
I can do that too.
Then he summoned 2 prisoners. He pardoned one and sentenced the other to death. And he said,
I too give life and death.
But then Ibrahim alayhi salam said such a sentence that pierced through the walls of Nimrod's arrogance.
My Lord brings the sun from the east. If you are God, then bring it out from the west.
The court froze. Even the air seemed to stop. Eyes widened. The Quran says, the disbeliever was left stunned. For the first time, Nimrod's arrogance shook. Truth always gives 2 paths, either bow down or burn. Nimrod chose the path of burning. He ordered,
"Light the greatest fire this land has ever seen."
Wood was gathered, so much that mountains were formed, and flames began touching the sky. The heat of the fire increased so much that even birds could not fly over that place. Then a catapult was prepared that could hurl stones and balls of fire far away. Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam was tied to the catapult. The oppressive people were laughing. Nimrod watched all this in his arrogance. And then Ibrahim alayhi salam was thrown into the fire. Then a command descended from the divine throne. O fire, be cool and safe, Ibrahim. The nature of fire changed. It was created to burn, but the Lord turned it into a bed of peace. Greenery grew within the fire. Ibrahim alayhi salam stood smiling, his clothes completely intact, his body protected, spiritual light shining on his face. The eyes of the oppressive nation burst open. Ibrahim alayhi salam emerged alive, but Nimrod died from within. So what was the end of Nimrod and his army? This event is not mentioned clearly in the Quran, but Ibn Kasir in his tafsir has narrated as a report that one day Allah unleashed a tiny mosquito on Nimrod's army. One night, a cloud like dust rose from the sky, First, one mosquito, then two, then millions. Torches went out. The army fled. Horses became uncontrollable. Soldiers screamed, calling out to their king. A creature that is nothing in human sight turned a mighty army into dust. Nimrod ran, hid his face, but one mosquito entered his nose. Severe pain spread into his brain. A mountain of arrogance collapsed due to a drop of pain. He had people strike his head with fists. He banged his head against walls. The tongue that once said, "I am God," that same tongue drowned in screams. A time comes when the mosquito eats his brain. His breath stops. His end becomes extremely humiliating. This incident is not just from the past. It is still happening every day. Even today, people take pride in their wealth, power, authority, and positions, and a voice inside the heart says, "I am the law." But the Lord who could bring Nimrod down with a mosquito, what can he use to break our arrogance? No one knows. Ask your heart, is there a Nimrod hidden inside me as well? If there is, then ignite the light of Tawheed.
To watch more Islamic videos like this, subscribe to the channel and share your opinion in the comments.